Good afternoon, everyone. Happy 100th anniversary, fee payers. Thanks in part to our defined pension plan, I've been retired for over a quarter century. When I was asked to do this on short notice, I assumed there was a reason. I found out the reason today. I thought perhaps the reason was that, first of all, I've been to 50 annual meetings, almost as many as Pat Brady. Secondly, most of the past presidents are dead. And I'm not quite there yet. But I found out the truth from Mara today, and that is that people who preceded me, who are here today, aren't here today. And that includes Ken Aitchison and Jim Kearney. So you saw the first name on the list of those past presidents was me. It's an accident of history. I want to indicate briefly how I came into teaching in the BCTF, because I think part of Jim's story relates to it. I was 19, got hired in Kimberley in a tough market, didn't have a suit, had my uncle's suit, and I was making $190 a month for 10 months, doing taxes for the other people in the boarding house who were minors. They were getting $6,500. In terms of the BCTF past presidents, there are sometimes generalizations made about the composition of this group. People may have the view that it's pretty well a monolithic type of thing. However, the past presidents include a Socred and an ex-communist, which is a fair range. Including Jim Eicher, the almost has-been, there are 68 past presidents. 50 are dead. In the first 35 years, all were male. Not only that, they were all predominantly administrators. They were not classroom teachers. Hilda Kreidemann was mentioned, powerful woman, followed by, in terms of the female side, Molly Cottingham, Isabel Cull, Elsie McMurphy, Alice McQuaid. From 2004 to 2009, there was a great run of 3-year terms. We have Jenny Sims, Irene Lanzinger, and Susan Lambert. So there's a partial redress of the imbalance, particularly among those alive now. 9 of our BCTF past presidents also served as CTF presidents. I'll quickly list their names. We heard about Harry Charlesworth, James Mitchell, John Sutherland, Cresswell Oates, John Pryor, Ian Boyd, Wes Jansen, Jim Killeen, and Pat Brady. Pat's the only one of those that's here today. Wes also served on the executive of the World Confederation of Organizations of the Teaching Profession, which is now Education International. Jim Killeen served as its president. And at that time, that organization had 9.2 million members, from the Soviet Union to very, very small countries. Sometimes we're perceived as a militant group. In the transition from Jim Killeen to Makieda of Japan, thousands of teachers marched the streets of Tokyo. The buildings were sheathed in metal. There were tanks on the streets. There were armed guards and army personnel on every street corner. And the opposition to Makieda were chanting, "Kill Makieda, kill Makieda." It's a little more civilized here so far. To indicate something of the contribution that the past presidents have made, beyond being president of an organization like ours, this yeasty organization, I'll just mention a few of the people, 5 examples. Tom Alsbury, mayor, Vancouver, 59-62. He ran as an independent and beat Fred Hume by 11,000 votes. Johan Philipson, Joe, Deputy Minister of Education in the 70s. David Chudnovsky, who's here with us today, MLA 2005 until he declined to run in 2009. Irene Lansinger, BC Federation of Labor President since 2014. Well done, Irene. Ginny Lunginder Sims, elected to the House of Commons in 2011. Elsie McMurphy, school trustee and counselor in Saanich. Al Blake and Jim McFarland, school trustees in Vancouver. There are many other examples among the past presidents, living and dead, of service beyond this organization to our community and to our nation and to our international community. The presidency of a union of professionals, now numbering about 41,000, is demanding. It's challenging, it's rewarding, and it's humbling. Fortunately, the BCTF staff is a big help in terms of dealing with the many issues that we face. What is sometimes forgotten, I think, is that partners and families also are instrumental for an effective presidency. I was president in 67, 68. 68 was a leap year. My wife and I had 3 daughters. Because of a family situation in Eastern Canada, we inherited 3 young people, 2 of whom are severely handicapped. Both of them lost their eye, an eye before they were 21. So she ended up with 6 kids, 9 and under, while I was away 27 of 29 days. In that February, 27 of 29 days. So would those who are partners of past presidents here just wave your hand, please? Over in this corner, back there. Okay. Thank you. Joy and I were married 60 years. We had our anniversary last August. Our predecessors and those present have beneficially influenced, as Jim Sinclair so effectively said, to echo both his remarks and those of Jim Eicher. Together, it's amazing the influence we've had, but it's also amazing how much the teaching profession has changed public perceptions of expectations of teachers. There's now a far greater acceptance, I think, that teachers have an obligation. It's not an option to be activists in terms of defense of public education. During the Socrates era, there were attacks made, and when I was president, I took issue publicly, naturally, as a president, with some of the statements. I not only got death threats, but I had people state that it was impolite and I was doing something I shouldn't do. I was hard to believe at that time. It simply doesn't happen nearly as often now. So, I want all of you to pretend for just a moment that you are raising a glass of your favorite, mine's Glenfiddich, to our past presidents. And one final note, I'm the only past president in history who has performed a wedding ceremony for another past president. Thank you, Larry, and your bride.